Good morning, friends. Today I want to talk to you about ways that you can save money setting up your seeds and growing for the 2022 grow year. So I actually did a price comparison of setting up the seed starting materials using things you have around your house, things you can get at the Dollar Tree, all kinds of inexpensive ways to go. And you can actually set up your seeds starting a couple of months before you put them out in the garden for very inexpensive. And I'm talking about $20 for the whole thing. So it's a big difference from setting up your seeds, doing a really large investment of a couple $100, doing grow lights and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you what I've done. I'm going to show you some of the things that I have to start my seeds and some of the seeds I've already started. And I'll take you on a little tour. So these are some of the inexpensive things that I put together to get your seeds growing. That'll really just take you about $20 to set up, maybe $25, but it's very inexpensive. So first of all, I'm going to show you a little setup that I have here in my kitchen. This is grow lights that I actually bought from, I think I got them on Amazon. And they do have the pink and blue and all that kind of stuff that they bring out. I have little seeds that I started, just my little tomato seeds that are starting to come up. And so I do have a more expensive setup to start my seeds. I also have a, I guess it's kind of an AeroGarden. I do that in the water with a little bit of plant fertilizer, and it works really nice. And sometimes I just put plants underneath it so they get a little extra light. But today what we're talking about is a way that we can set up our seed starting really inexpensive. So one of the first things I did was I found this amazing shop light. It's got 5,500 lumens. I actually bought these on, I think it was Black Friday at Harbor Freight for $10 each. And they're huge. I mean, they're almost 5 feet long. Actually, they're 4 feet. 4 feet LED linkable shop lights. So you can put them together and, have 4 or 5 lights together. It's a really inexpensive way to set up your lighting system versus doing a grow light, which is much more expensive. I can't remember the exact price, but I think it was somewhere around $30, $40 to set up the LED lights. The next thing is I have used little potting cups and potting trays. I do need to wash those for this year, but you can do it really inexpensive from the Dollar Tree, of all places. So these foam cups make great tools to set up for your, to put your seeds in. They're really long, so they have, a lot of room for the roots to grow. So those are, you just poke a couple of holes in the bottom of them. And then they sell all kinds of little, seeds and things at the Dollar Tree. These are 4 for $1. I think they're now 4 for $1.25, but I did get some dill. And they also have these little boxes of herbs, which I picked up one of those to do some sweet basil. I'm going to start that. And then the next thing that I got was some potting soil. This is an organic ready mix all-purpose potting soil. I think it'll work great for our needs of just getting the seeds started. And then for $1.25, I got this huge roasting pan. This is going to be what I'm going to put my styrofoam cups in. Let me show you a picture of that. This tray actually holds 15 little styrofoam cups that you can fill with potting soil, and then you can put your little, seeds of whatever type you have going on. And like I said, they're nice and large. They have plenty of room for the roots, easy to transplant out into the garden. And then another thing that I do is I save different kinds of take-home containers and things like that. They make great little greenhouses. So all you need to do is make sure you keep the lid. And when you fill those with soil, you've got a little mini greenhouse. I mean, they're just absolutely great. I love them. Here's another one. So you can put all kinds of little seeds in there that are, you know, very temperature. You can put all kinds of seeds in there that really need a little bit of extra moisture through the humidity. And honestly, one of my favorite things is that I save these, I don't know if you can see it, but they're little egg trays. Now, a lot of people use the egg trays, the little cardboard ones, but I love these plastic ones because I actually take a soldering gun, I just poke a hole in the bottom of it, I fill them up with dirt, and I'll show you in my laundry room some of the ones that I have growing. And it's not a big area, but once you close this lid, you have a mini greenhouse, and they just grow like weeds. They're just great. Then another thing that I get are these little craft sticks. I just use those with a Sharpie and write down what the different things are. And if I don't have those or I can't find them, I just take an old plastic cup and cut it up. I can usually get like 10 of these little things to stick into the cups that'll tell you what you're growing. And again, I just use a little Sharpie. So that's it for this. Let me take you into my laundry room and just show you some of the setup that I have. Now I wanted to show you this area here. This is just my laundry room. This is where we, do our laundry, that kind of thing. But what's really nice is I have one of these, I guess it's like a metal shelf. And these shop lights, all I do is I take a zip tie and I zip tie it and I just hang these little hooks, and I have just an absolutely great growing area. I can actually fit 2 of the roaster pans or 2 of these black boxes, and they hold all the different things that I try to grow. So what I wanted to show you is this is just one of those little take-home containers. I started growing some kale in it, and I had the lid on it for a couple of days, and then I took it off, and you can see the kale are just coming up like little weeds. And when they get to be a little bit bigger, I won't transplant them into a cup or a planter. I'll put them directly in the garden. It's cool enough here in Zone 9B, it's gonna be perfect. And then I do have some little planters. I'm starting some zinnias here. And remember I told you about the little wooden craft sticks? I mean, these just work great to tell you what you're growing. I mean, it's just really handy. I have some strawberries back here. I just took the lid off today, but I've noticed that some of the little, it's hard to see on the camera, but some of the little strawberries are starting to poke up a little. I've got some onions starting. They're just barely popping out. And these are my dahlias. I have some beautiful cactus dahlias that I'm growing. And these, all I'm using is the little egg container. And when these are about another inch higher, I'm gonna just scoop them out with a spoon and put them in one of these little planters. And then when they're big enough, I'll put them out in the garden. Here's a few more dahlias. I love dahlias. I like to have lots of flowers in the garden because it brings a lot of bees, a lot of butterflies, and it helps to just get everything pollinated, and the more flowers, the better. And then one more thing I wanted to show you here. These are some of the little, I guess they're cups that I've cut and turned into little markers. And I've got some tomatoes that I'm planting now. Right now, a lot of my tomatoes are out in the kitchen, and there's like 4 or 5 in a little planter container. But when they get bigger, I'm going to transplant them into individual containers. And so I'll need these little, I didn't have any of the craft sticks at the time, so I just printed a bunch of those with a Sharpie. So you can see this is not fancy at all, but I am able to get, within the next couple of weeks, all these shelves will have all this junk taken off. I've got all kinds of canning jars and things I need to move to another area. But within the next month, this whole area is going to be set up with little green plants. And as they start to grow, I'll show you how they're doing and give you an update then. So I'm just going to add a little bit of potting soil to these different planter boxes. Like I said, I just really love these eggshell or egg holders, these clear plastic ones. I know they come in cardboard. You could use those too, but you know, these are really nice as far as, you know, being able to provide that little bit of extra moisture through the top of it. So I'm just gonna fill these up real quick. And I'm also gonna fill up the styrofoam cup. I put holes in the bottom of both of these. So this is the potting soil that I'm using from the Dollar Tree. And I think it works. Sorry about my clock. It's kind of loud today. I just replaced the battery. And there we go. So here's the potting soil. So put that aside, and I do notice that it has more of these big twigs and things, which are great in the garden, but in here sometimes they can alter your little plants coming up. So I do try to take them out, but this works great. Looking for an inexpensive way to garden this year, and you really want to give your seeds a good start, try the ShopLite. Try the little items you can use from the Dollar Tree. Try these things around the house, egg cartons and take-home containers and, you know, craft sticks, whatever it is you can find. You can do this really inexpensive. Even the seeds can be very inexpensive. If you're looking at places like the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent store, they also have tons of little pots there, which are really nice. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate if you could subscribe or share this with your friends. I hope it's a great thing that'll help you. Happy gardening!